Hey guys, so I'm finishing up the 5 decks that I gave you guys for the new classes in Alliance War. The last one is Empire Control. I've changed up the list a little bit. As you guys can see, I've added more Solitaires and Giant Bats, going with like an old school scout direction. There's a lot of things you can do with this. Conscription Empire just finished #1 on the ladder for the last season. So you really, there's a ton of different builds for this. You kind of just keep the same defensive core and figure out what you want to do with the late game. If you want to run a little bit more early game, you can go with the conscription option. I went with a more traditional action-based list where we're running just every single, kind of action we can to deal with our enemies, and using Solitaire as a late game, because Solitaire is just kind of a fun late game to play around with, and can outrun people with resources. In conscription mirrors, specifically, conscription mirrors are kind of frustrating because it's just, a lot of the times it's really tough to get a foothold because they have all the tools to answer you. Less so with Solitaire and Parthenax, which is why I'm trending towards that as a finisher. But I think both of them can work. I think you can kind of do whatever you want with Empire Control. It's a really strong archetype right now, so give it a try. Alright, we've got a mirror on our hands. Opening Scouts Report's really good. If this ends up being aggro, we want to keep the Golden Initiate. Scouts Report can kind of inform our decisions moving forward. Necromancer, we have a great card against control, a great card against aggro, and then something to do on one. So it looks like it's going to be aggro if he's looking to play a 1-drop, unless this is his Scouts Report.
Back to us.
Ooh. Now this could be some sort of Abomination or Market deck.
I'll scout ahead.
So we're going to open with our Scouts Report. The purpose of Scouts Report is to dig further into the deck, so we're just going to pitch that second one. The next turn we're looking at a Tree Minder.
So it comes to violence.
Does appear to be Abomination. Abomination's really interesting to play against as control. For the most part, you kind of just want to be removing their things. So that's what we're going to look to do here.
So it comes to violence.
There's a plan. There's always a plan.
I do not fear death.
Okay, so we're going to set up this Fighter's Guild in the Golden Initiate. We have the Javelin ready for his Disciple of Namira, which is weird to say.
You won't follow my plan.
They've no move we can't
Tis with the
anticipate.
Enduro Mastermind. Just want to keep his board clear and develop as much as we can. And eventually we'll see if we can turn our pressure into a victory. Should be tougher for him to get through his deck.
Wait.
If he's able to find that Disciple of Namira, obviously this is going to get super awkward. So I do want to play the Thieves Guild over the Fervor here. Because of that reason, we want to be contesting as much as possible. We want to be clearing off his things to make it harder for him to power cycle with his Disciple of Namira. Now he doesn't know we're only running one cast into time in this list, so he could be a little bit spooked into playing into not playing his Disciple. He goes with the Camel.
I'll take them with me.
So this is pretty simple. We're just going to go with the Fervor, clear off what we can of his board. We don't want to give him a kill with this Camel.
My scales move in shadow.
So we are going to attack with these two. And it's going to 3. He shouldn't ever be able to answer this Fervor, so we're kind of just looking to build up the board as quick as possible, while making sure he doesn't have the ability to cycle with his Disciple.
The Black Hand sees all.
Goes ahead with the Ungolem
I didn't come here alone.
and the Marshblade. Transitus Shrine as well. And we're in an interesting position here. Having just picked up the Edict, we're definitely going to go ahead and jab this to kind of block his draw. I think that's the most important thing to do here, is to block his draw. We are not going to attack. We want to build up the board before we get a chance to do that. We have the Edict of Azura for the Transitus Shrine. Not sure if that's where we're going quite yet. Debilitate is the play. So we're going to go ahead and draw.
Rise, my servant.
Now we do have the option to ramp instead of draw.
Nicely done.
I don't think ramp is that big of a deal, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. And then we're going to Fighter's Guild into the field lane. That makes it harder for us to trigger our shrine next turn, but I don't want him to be able to set up in either lane here.
Namira hunger.
There's his first Namira.
This one is just a simple farmer. You
And
see,
we immediately have the answer for that with the Shadowfen Priest.
You must be cleansed.
behold my power.
We should have drawn first there. That was obviously a bit of a mistake. Now, each one of these is potentially good. I'm not sure what I want, because we always want to be reacting to his game plan and trying to block it in whatever way we can. So I think for that reason, we're going to keep the Soul Tear, because that allows us to bring back the Shadowfen if we need to. Now, if he has the second Disciple, he has the ability to go off here, but there's always a chance he can brick, because he's basically has to have 4 creatures in his hand.
I lurk in the shadows, waiting.
Goes with the Brotherhood Assassin. By controlling the board as well as we have, what we did is we didn't give him the option of using an early Disciple to try and cycle.
Hungers for
This
blood.
one has
He needed to wait until this point.
too much.
And now he's hitting his second Disciple. So we'll see how far he can get into his deck here. But we do have the answer ready to go with the Edict of Azura. And at this point, we're probably just going to let him have the shrines.
I do not fear death.
So just going to go ahead and take that out. He only has 1 Disciple of Namira left in his deck.
To oblivion with you.
Once again, going to keep on the game plan of just clearing his board.
Shadow, whatever here.
He's Guild Recruit
Praise to
into
Namira.
Namira's Shrine.
Fear is
I don't
the
really
ancient
care
darkness.
if he has discounts, because he needs exactly his 3rd Disciple and 75 cards to be able to get his discount. And now, with that kind of out of the way, now we can get rid of his, at least one of his shrines here.
Read.
So we're going to Soul Tear. Oop, that was a mistake. I forgot to trade off the Shadowfen first. Oops. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. Alright, well, never mind. We're going to hit the camel then.
Sooth,
Oh, I could have sworn I clicked the camel.
mother of mud.
Alright. Well, that was an incorrectly played turn all around. We still have the Edict. And it's honestly fine, because keeping the Edict for his emergency 3rd Namira is okay. We are going to hit the shrine here. Arrow Stalker. Okay. Draw 2 more cards. And we're not going to give him any cards. Because he needs to find exactly his 3rd Disciple of Namira. He's got 55 cards in his deck.
At the ready.
His shall heal you.
So we're going to set up our board here. And next turn, we'll be going in and giving him as many cards as possible. So not you want to do all your damage at once. The chip damage kind of lets them get those turns in the middle where they're not under threat of death. But they can go with the Disciple of Namira. If you play it like this, where you're just building up a board, then you can kind of just get in make it so they have to do cycle and survive in the same turn, which is not easy for them to do. It's going to debilitate.
I stand ready.
And Marshblade. So we're going to Crushing Blow. We're going to stick with our game plan.
Feel the power within you.
Just to build up a board naturally.
Citizen.
And draw a couple more cards. We don't want to give him out. If he's able to naturally just draw the 3rd Disciple of Namira, he could get us here. But he is 1 in 50 to do so. No snap pick on the camel. Likely indicates that this is not a Disciple. There's the Swindler's Market. And the makeshift defenses. try to draw at least a little bit here. Holds on to that one quickly. Now that's a bad sign. Oh, it was a Bandari Opportunist that he kept.
Wait, did you hear that?
The mirror hunger.
Oh, he's had the third disciple the whole time. Now that is interesting. I didn't expect that. He's going to give us chances to answer this, and then after this point, he should not be able to cycle through his deck at all. So we will need to find that answer. Red Brahmin is an answer. Did not expect him to have the third disciple the whole time. Holy cow. So now with 41 cards left in his deck, he should not have any good avenues of cycle remaining. And we got him. Control the board against Abomination. They want their creatures to be alive so they can kill them. If they need to play all of those things from hand, it makes their turns way more awkward. They need to get their big cycle turns out from hand, and they need to do it to the point where it wins them the game because they know you're going to be able to answer them. So, going up against Market Assassin. Market Assassin should be a very bad matchup for us, but if we can find our heal, we can maybe push through. Early heal with the Ruin Profiteer is nice. Crushing Blow to answer an early threat is nice as well. Shadowfriend Priest to deal with the market. So we've got a couple of good early cards. And Edict to deal with the market. So looking okay. Probably going to lead with this Bruma depending on what we draw. If we can find something that we might be looking to play relatively early. Doesn't appear we found that yet. So we're going to take a look. The Slime Marsh Blade is interesting. Just something to get out. But I don't think we want to keep it. Hive Defender much better. So we have the Crushing Blow, assuming he plays a creature this turn. He does not. This is where we're going to play the Broom, I think. We're going to play it Field because we want the ability to protect it.
The Night Mother will guide us.
It's totally fine. I have Defender's going to come out there. He's starting to build up his resources. We found a Nasi, which is great because that's going to steal the drain on this. Found a Barrow Stalker as well. I don't think we have to steal the drain on it quite yet. So let's go ahead and just make sure we're contesting this. Inefficient.
I smell the stench of the living.
So we played the Barrow, which means he will likely try to respond to this. If he has a Debilitate here, we're in a little bit of trouble, because he's going to kill off his own 0-2. Even just a ringed out Debilitate here represents a problem for us. Hopefully we'll be able to get the Sanasi to connect at least once. Winter's Grasp. So this is our turn to play that Anasi.
Be always clever. This is the secret to success.
Having just used a Winter's Grasp, likelihood is he doesn't have another. This deck does run Paralyzes. But if he's using a Paralyze without using a Hex Mage, then potentially in a little bit of trouble for him. We do have the Cast into Time if he plays Hex Mage and doesn't kill us. That attack leads me to believe we're looking at a Hex Mage turn here. Debilitate. So we still do have this Anasi. Able to swing for 3.
Taste Anasi's blade.
Interestingly enough, I think one of the things what we're gonna do here is we're gonna jab our own Barrow Stalker. Now we have the cast into time for his Hex Mage. We have Crushing Blow. We have Shadowfen for market, Edict for market. So we have plenty of answers to everything. What we don't have is something to do with this Necromancer. Because this Necromancer is not really bringing back anything of importance. I want to get rid of the Barrow Stalker so we have the ability to bring it back.
They cannot hope to outwit
Got the
me.
House Kinsman. He's going to get the Ice Spike as well.
The Night Mother will guide us.
Blackhand Messenger and Curse is absolutely fine. We've got another Necromancer to bring back the Barrow Stalker. He should not have enough cards, I think, to kill me from hand without getting a good spoils roll. Now we have the Edict, so we could use this Shadowfen as a heal 3. Heal 3 being valuable at the moment. Other option is to use the cast into time. The other option is to use Crushing Blow and just take the damage. I think we're going to use the Shadowfen as a heal 3.
Should help.
It sucks to not get the Barrow Stalker online here,
Last battlefield.
but I think it's worth it for the heal 3. This Necromancer's going to bring back a Barrow Stalker.
I smell the stench of the living.
And soon we'll be able to bring back a Bruma. After this fervor, we'll be able to bring back a Bruma Profiteer. I'm not sure how relevant that'll be, but we will see. He'll likely have to deal with this Barrow Stalker here. I don't know if he has enough for combo. Good chance he's just holding back these markets, but he does need to find a Hex Mage and then some cards to go off as well. And that's very good for us, because that's going to allow us to just get a free swing in here.
Wrong place for a midnight stroll.
Now, as we look at his number of cards, he's going to be going up to 9, so we give him exactly 1 card by making our swings here. Potentially could be worth it, just putting the pressure on him. Now, obviously, it's bad if that 1 card is the Hex Mage that he's been searching for. I think we're just going to put him to 21 here. $27 is a relatively high life total. We'll see if he can do it. He's got the Debilitate. This was also part of the worry with going in. Is if we were going in, I think we really wanted to play the Necromancer there, but the Necromancer made us weak to Debilitate. And a lesser ward is nice. Gonna curse that to leave us with a useless Barrow Stalker once again. Only this time we can't really do much about that. What we can do is we can bring back a Bruma Profiteer.
Rise, my servant.
Preparations have been
Play
made.
a Fighter's Guild.
Do not fear death.
Get that Bruma Profiteer ward and play a Shrine.
To Namir, who
Put him back to
fears
21.
ancient darkness.
So we're keeping our health total relatively stable. But at a certain point, he's just got enough mana to combo from hand. I think he's reaching that point.
Here.
By the Lord, Mother, and Wizard, I see their strategy.
He's made it clear that he is not going to play these Swindler's Markets ahead of time, so we can use this Edict for removal if we need to.
The Black Hand sees all.
Just gonna get a little chip damage in there, understandably. Camel's a very good draw. Gonna give us options here. Found a Skinned Hound, a Mana Marco, and a Hiss Mage. Now, Mana Marco can't be played this turn, but can bring back a House Kinsman if we're still alive next turn. Doesn't seem particularly worth it. Probably better just to go with the... Well, we could cast this into time this turn, which leaves us enough that only Skinned Hound would be the play. I think we're going to take that Mana Marco. He's made it clear he needs this damage to get through by that Black Hand play.
I do not fear death.
I have no patience for fools.
So we have the option to use Mana Marco to try and heal next turn, which is nice. And heal is really the only thing that matters at this point in the game. He's trying to heal out of his potential combos. 7, 9, 13, 17, 19. We do have lethal if he doesn't heal. We would need a 2-drop to squish the Kinsman. There's the Market. It's a bad sign. Not paired with a Hex Mage is a very good sign. He's going to Spoils of War here. Varen Aquilarius is going to be insane. If he can't kill us this turn, Varen Aquilarius should close the game for us. Double bolt. Holy cow.
Shadow.
Man has a plan. Well, we have Bruma Profiteer and Varen Aquilarius ready to go. Let's make a quick count and make sure we're not going to miss lethal here. 5, 7, 9, 13, 15. Not even close. So we have Edict, Bruma, and Varen. Seems like a very solid turn. So let's get rid of that. Let's play our Bruma.
There's always a plan.
Least valuable is the 2/2, so let's make that attack. Play the Varen.
All true emperors must.
You cannot hide.
And let's go ahead and hit him to
Profit
17.
from your debt.
So he does need to deal 24 damage without a Market in play. Assuming he does not have some way to deal with this Varen.
I have
As
just
Market
the thing
and
for
Hex
that.
Mage, still has 24 damage to do with 4 cards. 2 spoils are already gone. Back up to 15. Double curse on the Bruma. And then curse on the Fighter's Guild is going to take us to 10.
I will cut
And
your
not one.
ears and your throat.
Okay. So now we're left with a couple different options. Unfortunately, can't kill the Hex Mage. I don't think that actually matters too much. I think the chances that he kills me are very, very low here. So let's make a quick count for our lethal. We have 5, 7, 11, 15, 20. We do actually have lethal. Let's double count that. 5, 7, 11, 15, 20. He does have the option for Bolt.
Fools.
Behold my power.
There's only 1 Bolt remaining.
Zuth. Chaos.
And now that is no longer an out.
Leovic personally.
We're able to take him out.
Fare no better.
Controlling the board, maximizing our heal. Getting a little bit lucky. That's how you're going to beat the markets.